Joined now by Congressman Darren Soto, a Democrat from Florida in a district with many Puerto Rican American immigrants as well. This has been a busy and difficult time. I know. I appreciate you making some time for us. Walk us through what people need to know and what you think the president should still do now.
Well, first of all, we don't need second-grade geography lessons. We need solutions. And it's been 7 to 8 days before we got any real action. This is an island that's without power, without cell phone service. People are drinking water from their pools and from rivers, and supermarkets are out of food. But we finally got first a one-star, now a three-star general appointed. We have the USS Comfort and other naval vessels coming down with abilities to make water, abilities for hospital services. We also have the Jones Act waived, which will allow us to have foreign help as well. But we've done a better job of invading enemy nations than we have of helping out American citizens on this, and it's just unforgivable.
When we look at the comparisons to other hurricanes, and this has come up a lot here, with Katrina, there was a $10 billion aid package. That was within 4 days of landfall. Harvey, $15 billion with some inflation and 2 weeks of landfall. Hurricane Maria, there is not yet a formal funding request for Puerto Rico from this White House. Your view?
Well, I could tell you, we've had early estimates that the total damage could be $50 to $85 billion. Of course, Puerto Rico's not going to get that kind of money from the federal government, no matter how hard we fight. But it's disastrous. A whole grid is down. 85% of the cell phone towers are down. And the real key right now is distribution. Now that we have supplies on the ground, getting them to these places in the mountains that are isolated, that are sending SOS signals, hopefully to flying aircraft. And we just need the president to take this seriously and show some interest.
Congressman, I want to ask you about another fairly basic or even obvious point, but one that's so important that our reporting hopefully conveys, which is obviously the end of the hurricane itself is not the end of the emergency threat to people's lives. And depending on the response, it can actually get worse. I think a lot of coverage has shown that. I think it's clear the president and some of his aides don't seem to reflect that basic reality. So with that in mind, I want to play for you and get your response from people, our journalists on the ground have spoken to and other journalists have spoken to about what it looks like right now.
The president is not taking seriously this devastation, this catastrophe on the island.
We need all the help we can get. We need the food, we need the gasoline, we need security, we need everything to get set up because people are starving.
What you need is food, water, light. We have nothing.
Congressman, what else do you want to add to that, to what's going on down there so people and hopefully the administration understands?
Well, this has already become a Katrina. We have American citizens who pledge allegiance to our flag, serve in the military, pay taxes, and they don't know when the power is going to get back on. They don't know whether they're going to get water, whether they're going to get food. And so we need the Trump administration to get up and act. And
when you say, Congressman,
things.
This is a Katrina, what do you mean by calling it that? What are you saying?
That it's an act of negligence, that they completely underestimated the scale of this and are only now starting to react after we stood on our desks for days screaming about the lives in jeopardy. And we see that today, and we've seen it for the past week.
Congressman Darren Soto, who has been leading on this issue, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me.